Doom. An absolute immortal classic that was made by ID Software in 1993. A giant revolution in the industry, creation of another genre. Absolutely everything was made differently these days. I want you to know something about Doom and what it really was, because it's something more than the hangar, than only the room on left from you, a corpse in front of you and a window. It's something more than that. It all starts from a company called ID Software, the guys that actually created this whole thing, that created Commander Keen, created Wolfenstein 3D, and they also created the thing that we are talking about today, Doom, the classical one, the one that's also Ultimate Doom, Final Doom, Plutonic Experiment, TNT, all these things were made by them. And the second one is also made by these guys. The whole staff and members of the team always changed, but it doesn't matter if the product is still a product, and it's still made by two coolest guys of the team. Doom fact. The first episode of Doom that we know now as Knee Deep in the Dead was a shareware free version that you could get from a magazine to actually meet the real Doom and know what it's all about. And those two guys who made the biggest deal are John Romero and John Carmack. Absolutely two different people. The one who is an extrovert, another who is an introvert. Different people who made absolutely different story for the game. These times it was something more different than it is now. It was floppy disks, DOS system, and the company wasn't so rich. The only thing that they were eating was cola and pizza. And the thing that they had for creating was enthusiasm that they had. Enthusiasm was the only thing they actually had to really help them, and it really worked. Doom fact. Before the alpha version, of course, the team had a concept, and the concept was quite weird, I would say. It had aliens from the movie franchise, and Evil Dead. Yeah, it had these two things combined. And for some reason they decided to change it. After this concept, we had Doom Bible, made by Tom Hall in 1992. It had absolutely different perspective, and it's not the Doom that we know today. But some of the elements from the Doom Bible also were used in original Doom, like for example screens that say Taitanga. Let's talk about the variants you can have of the original Doom. Original Doom had only 3 episodes: Knee Deep in the Dead, The Shores of Hell and Inferno. The shareware version that was before the original one had only Knee Deep in the Dead. This episode was just for meeting and beginning your whole story with the game, and Die Flesh Consumed was in the Ultimate Doom that was after original one. But it's not all. We also had alpha version. Doom fact. BFG 9000, one of the greatest weapons in the game industry of all time. The thing you need to know about this weapon is that it wasn't always a Bioforce Generator 9000. Before it, it was big fucking gun. And it didn't fire the way it fires now. It wasn't one big element, it was a lot of little ones. But the systems couldn't handle it, so it was dismissed. Let's talk about the alpha versions that we have for Doom. It wasn't always the same. Doom alphas are here on a site called toastytech.com. You can also just search for the Doom alpha versions, Doom beta versions, and you will definitely find these. Doom Technology Preview, Doom 03, Doom 4.2, Doom 5.22, Press Release Demo, the original Doom 099. And now I can show you only one thing. I can show you the modification that is made as the press release demo. And here we go. This is the modification that shows us the press release demo. Press release that we have here, it's absolutely not the Doom that we know now. What we have? The guns are not the one that we have in the original Doom. We have a chainsaw. This chainsaw is in fact a chainsaw that had to be used as a model for the Evil Dead element of the game. We don't have a fist, now we have bayonet. This is the bayonet we have. It was instead of a fist. Instead of a pistol, we have a rifle. Instead of a shotgun, we have this shotgun. This is also boomstick. The boomstick that we had as an element of course, Evil Dead. After that, machine gun instead of a chain gun. Rocket launcher. I mean missile launcher. This is a missile launcher instead of a rocket launcher. Plasma gun. This plasma gun is not the one we know because the sprite of the shooting is different. And BFG. This is the moment when BFG was renamed. How? I will tell you. But before that, I will show you the way it shoots. In fact, I don't know if this is the way it really should, but let's talk about BFG 9000. A really giant thing. Let's talk about Doom's story, its plot. How could you get it? The only way of how you could get it was simple. You had a text file, and text file told you absolutely everything. And you also had some text and a picture after each episode. The way of how John Carmack told us about it was like this. Story in a game is like a story in a porn movie. It's expected to be there, but it's not that important. The difficulty levels of Doom are known by everyone. I'm too young to die. Very easy. Hey, not too rough. A little bit harder, but not too much. It's just simply easy. Hurt Me Plenty. Hurt Me Plenty is just the way of how you could play with having more monsters. Ultra Violence, which is a reference to the movie of Stanley Kubrick called Clockwork Orange. It's the way you need to play the game. It's either Hurt Me Plenty or Ultra Violence. And Nightmare. When you choose Nightmare, it says, "Are you sure? This skill level isn't even remotely fair." And it really isn't, because monsters are resurrecting. The demons are really resurrecting, and it's not the way of how you can play the game. It's either Hurt Me Plenty or Ultra Violence. It's definitely not Nightmare, believe me. The story of Doom's soundtrack is one of the most interesting stories of all time. Here is the Bobby Prince, the guy who composed the soundtrack for the original Doom. A lot of people say that the whole soundtrack for Doom 1993, or the original one, was composed by being inspired by metal, by the groups like Metallica, AC/DC, Pantera, Alice Cooper, and not only. The thing is that they really were. The whole songs and compositions were inspired by these metal bands. And here comes a very interesting moment, because this guy wasn't only a composer, but he was also a lawyer, so he could actually know what he was doing. And believe me, he knew what he was doing when he was taking parts from different songs. And there isn't only an official soundtrack of Doom 1993. There is also an unreleased soundtrack made by Bobby Prince in a MIDI format. And you can also get it in the MP3 format. But here it is. Here you go. Here we see something like Slayer, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, Soundgarden, AC/DC, Slayer. So, the thing is that it really was inspired by metal, but sometimes you simply had to get the song out of the game, because these compositions were absolutely, sometimes they were just like the original song. Doom fact. Some of the maps in the game also have some references and inspirations of music. These are levels like Skinny Puppy, Nirvana, House of Pain, and Slayer. The soundtrack of Doom is one of the greatest soundtracks I have ever heard. It fits greatly in the game, within the game. It's just something that you really want to hear here. It's a great ambient. Sometimes it's something energetic that makes you feel more comfortable when you are killing all those demons. It just fits into the game well, into the levels. It's something that Doom really needs, I would say. It needed all of those things. It needed some inspiration, of course, and this is what we get. When I rate it, I say that this is a really solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. It is. The thing about Doom's graphics is that it's great. For these days, it was just something, and even now, I just look at it and I like it. I just really like it. It was made in different ways. It was made by the map editor and also by some modeling. Even the guns that you see inside of the game are in fact toys. Toys that were remodeled so they can look like the real guns, like the real thing, and they actually look like these. They look really powerful. Also, a lot of the sprites, for example, like the demons, the zombies, they were all modeled. These were the models, and company had to animate them so they can look like this. Doom fact. Another fact is that Doom created quite a lot of things, like really a giant amount of different things. It made music of the MIDI format sound more better. It sounded more organically. It created a better 3D models and making of the 3D models into sprites, and also 3D modeling. It made a 2 and 5D view of the game, because in fact you see it as 3D, but in fact it's not 3D, 2 and 5D, making a very interesting map editor, making by that a very interesting and giant mod and map making community, creating a genre of FPS as we know it today, creating a giant multiplayer, creating a deathmatch as we know it today, creating new software, new tendencies, creating the age rating for games, especially, of course, creating a game engine. And I'm sure that I didn't tell you absolutely everything I could. The graphics also, I would rate it by 9 out of 10. It has a lot of work done in here. A lot of modeling, a lot of animation. For these days, it was just something. And it was okay for the system. The thing that you really need to think about. If the system can handle it. And they could. Most of them really could. And that's the graphic you want, when it even looks good now. After Doom 1, of course, they were working on Doom 2. One time John Romero locked himself inside of the room and he was playing Doom constantly, instead of making the game like Doom 2. Well, John Carmack didn't quite like it. So he took a battle axe and started chopping the door. And he really chopped the door. It was inside of the office for more than 1 month. And even like that, what is Doom all about? What are the things that we think of when we say Doom? Well, Doom's atmosphere is made by 3 different elements that are being combined in the game all the time. And these are sci-fi, religion, and fantasy. The sci-fi element is plasma guns, energetic weapons, all the architecture that you can see in the game most of the times. It's not only the weapons, but also technologies, space traveling, Mars, and some places, especially in the first episode. The second episode, I would say, is more like a fantasy element. Because, well, the team of ID Software played Dungeons and Dragons quite a lot. And here comes also the religious element. Right here we can see the Antichrist symbol. And speaking of fantasy, Cacodemon is inspired by Beholder from Dungeons and Dragons. And the religious element. A lot of the spiritism in the game. Demons. Hell. Some of the symbols in the game. And also the fourth episode. Doom fact. The name of the fourth episode of Doom, Thy Flesh Consumed, is in fact a reference. And not just to something, but a reference to a Bible. The King James Bible version. And thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. Doom's gameplay, oh, this was definitely a thing that everyone liked. It's fast, it's like violent, brutal, very energetic. It makes you feel the adrenaline sometimes. It's sometimes a little bit hardcore. And it makes it even more better. People liked it. People loved it. This is the thing that made you come again into Doom. It's something that you really like. Even when I was a kid, I loved Doom. I played it as often as I simply could. Really. Because the gameplay was fast, interesting. I could get here anytime and just simply replay some of the episodes because I wanted so. Because it was interesting and it was fun. The gameplay of Doom is really fun. What makes me rate it as, again, 9 out of 10. Doom fact. In the time of release, Doom was considered even more violent and brutal than Mortal Kombat. It was considered more brutal than that. Think about this thing. The interesting moment is that these two games were like a push to make a game rating system, age rating system, and it was made. Some of the games had to simply change, and Mortal Kombat did this. It changed it itself. It made the version without the blood and everything like that, but in fact, Doom didn't want to change, and it didn't change at all. They didn't take out all the blood, all the gore and everything like that, but well, there were some games like Chex Quest or Noah's Ark 3D, but these are not the official Doom games. These are just the things that people call Doom clones. And here comes another fact. A lot of different games that were looking just like Doom were in fact called Doom clones. A lot of different games that were out these days, they just simply were called Doom clones. This whole era ended when there were games like Half-Life, Halo, Duke Nukem 3D, and GoldenEye 007. These are the games that changed the whole prerogative, and people weren't calling games Doom clones again. Just think of how giant the game had to be so that every other game that looks even a little bit just like this one has to be called in the name of this. And the Doom clone era was very interesting. Doom fact. Quite a military fact. Marine Doom is another version of Doom, but this one was used as a military training. It really was. And the reason for that is that some people from military actually said that Doom develops a killer instinct, especially if you are a little child. A little child playing Doom can develop killing training. This is the thing that really military people said. In fact, this was just a hardcore version of Doom with different new guns and people that you needed to kill by using your reflex for 100%. You know, some people say that this game is quite violent. Now it doesn't seem so, but it was banned in Germany for 17 years, and it really was. The reason for some of the words that military people said was this guy. That's Michael Cornell, a school shooter. The problem with him is that he was playing Doom. it's not all that you need to know. He absolutely didn't have any weapon training, but somehow, when he fired 8 rounds from the pistol, some people were actually injured. He had a really good aiming, and he had a really good accuracy, even though he didn't have absolutely any weapon training. He didn't even know how to use a gun. But military people say that, yeah, and we know the reason, and the reason is Doom. After some fun, let's get again into the theme of violence. You know about Columbine, Eric Harris, Dylan Klebold, these two guys killed a lot of people, the real beasts in a human flesh. Well, it's not a good theme at all. The thing is that Eric Harris was a part of Doom community and he made some maps for it. He really made. These are the maps he made. They are on the official site that was made for the Columbine theme, at columbinesite.com. And there is a part about Eric Harris, that is being all about his maps. The thing is that one of the maps that he made was a map of his school. He was training there to kill people. And this is one of the reasons why Doom was named one of the most violent games of all time. Now let's talk about some of the guns that you have in Doom. The first one is not quite a gun, but well, it's a good weapon. This is a chainsaw. The gun, I mean a weapon that had to be used for the Evil Dead element of Doom. But as I said, it was not so needed. But the chainsaw is still in the game. Why so? Because it's quite a good choice of the weapon for such a game that has quite a lot of gore, violence and demons. The best thing you can do is probably sawed him in half. Just like here. It's a good weapon and it can be used only in a melee attack. Of course it can't be used in a range attack, it would be quite stupid. But for some reason it also doesn't require ammo. Even though this is a chainsaw that needs fuel. Okay. Yeah, fist. Fist is just a fist, but with Berserk, this thing becomes a killing machine. Pistol became a real legend because of a pistol start. Quite a good weapon, I would say. It's not remarkable, but well, this is the weapon you start with, so the game gives you this to require at least a little bit of experience with this thing. Shotgun. The weapon you will probably use the most. It's killing, it's good, it's portable, it's quite mobile, it's deadly. This is just the thing you need. It's good, it's really good. Chain gun. Not quite as a chain gun or a minigun or a machine gun that you would well expect in the real life, but it's quite good. It's definitely much more better than a pistol. This is a good gun. Rocket launcher. This is the weapon that you definitely need to know how to use, because if you use it not the way how you need to, you can die. Just like this. Oh, and here you go. Plasma gun, a deadly classic. This thing kills everything. Absolutely everything. A lot of ammo, a lot of power. Everything of this gun is being measured in a lot. A lot of damage, a lot of ammo, a lot of power. And the legend, the real goddamn legend, BFG 9000. Do I need to say anything here? I don't think so. This is just great. This is the thing that, if God exists, he created this thing himself. In 2008, ID Software made quite a good mobile game called Wolfenstein RPG. It's all about the same things, Nazis, John Blazkowicz, and in the same context and law. The thing is that in the end of the game there is a boss. The boss is a harbinger either of hell or death, I don't quite remember, but the thing is that you have to kill him. Nazis summon him, and this is the main boss of the whole game. You kill him by the Spear of Destiny. Blazkowicz deals quite a good damage to this harbinger by cutting off his arm and leg. And right after that there is a portal. Harbinger falls into the portal and screams that he will kill the one who comes after Blazkowicz. And the thing is, look quite okay. Don't you think they look familiar? I don't even know. Maybe just twins. And now let's talk about enemies that you have in Doom. The first one is of course Zombieman, a guy who is actually satisfying to kill. He really is. He's not a big deal at all. But well, cool guy I would say. Shotgun guy. Great thing, he gives you a shotgun. I don't have anything to say at all. He gives you a shotgun and it's only cool. Imp. Again, not quite a big deal, but the biggest problem is that when you have a lot of imps, you are probably going to die. So, if there's only one imp, it's okay. Get your pistol, get your shotgun, but when you have a group, you can get a rocket launcher. Demon or Pinky Demon, he has different names. Well, he's quite a pain in the ass sometimes, I would say. Not a big pain in the ass, but he can really kill you, especially when there are lots of them and they all get around you. Spectre. The same thing like Pinky, but this bastard is invisible. Lost Soul. Now we talk about a pain in the ass. Now this thing is the thing that no one likes. No one likes flying enemies. No one likes them. And this is one of the cases. Just Lost Soul. Like really, he's just a pain in the ass. The only thing you can do is just chainsaw him or shotgun his face. I mean, his skull. Cacodemon. In fact, this creature is a symbol of Doom. He is really a symbol of Doom. And also he is the author's favorite Doom monster. So he is in fact a really beloved monster either of John Romero or John Carmack. A fine guy. He's easy to kill, I would say, not a big deal. Hey, he's just a cool guy. I like fighting them. Baron of Hell. This guy can deal quite a problem. He can deliver death. Like he really can. This guy is the boss of the first episode. I mean, two of them. There are two Barons of Hell in the end of the first episode. So, get your weapon, reload it, even though you can do it in Doom. Just use the biggest thing you have. Use rocket launcher, use plasma gun, use BFG, not anything else, just this. Just kill him. Just try to, if you can. Spider Mastermind. 3,000 health points. This thing is quite interesting to duel. I like having them as a boss. Really, it's interesting. It's quite okay for me. I like Spider Mastermind. I really do. Cyberdemon. Do I even have to say anything about him? Like, it's Cyberdemon. Everyone knows everything about Cyberdemon. A giant, powerful, deadly enemy. Be careful with him. You will kill him for quite a lot of time. Prepare for him. Doom fact. What do you think Bill Gates and Gabe Newell have in common? Well, in fact, Doom is a game that connected them and made their future. Bill Gates is actually a person who used Doom to promote his own software. He used Doom to promote Windows 95, and he is that guy in a trench coat with a shotgun inside of the Doom. Damn, that's a badass thing, I would say. This is his real promo video for Windows 95. The first words that he said were, these games, they become very realistic. For some time he criticized DOS in his promo video, and after that he advertised Windows 95. And what about Gabe Newell? In fact, Gabe Newell was a person who actually ported Doom from DOS to Windows 95. And he did it for free. For absolutely free. And after that, Gabe Newell decided to take up video game career. This is the moment where we can see that only one game has actually made some people careers, has actually made a real future, made more companies, and made a lot of our own memories. And now just look how Bill Gates kills Zombieman with a shotgun. There is also a game called Doom RPG, and this is a game by ID Software, and it's really good. I recommend you to play it. It's well done. It's really good. I really liked it. I played it, and it's worth playing it. It really worth. Like really, think about it. It's a good thing. Just have some maybe mobile phone if you want to make a full experience, or download a mobile phone emulator and just play Doom RPG, Doom RPG 1 and Doom RPG 2. Both are good. One time when Gabe Newell was working for Windows, I mean Microsoft, he actually said that Doom was United States' first most popular software. The first one, the most popular program. It was so popular that it was actually more popular than Windows 95. Just think about it. There are lots of ways of how you can play Doom these days, especially by using source ports. I myself have ZDoom, GZDoom, Zendronum and Zdiamond. Zdiamond is pretty interesting itself because it allows you to play online. So if you're not interested in single player, you can have some fun. I really recommend you just have some fun in a multiplayer mode with your friends. Just meet it, meet the legend itself, meet the thing that created a real video game revolution. Try it, it's interesting. I myself play Zdiamond and it's interesting, I like it, I really do. And I use ZDoom, GZDoom and Zendronum for the modifications. It's good to use them. If I could, I would stretch this video for like more than an hour. Just because of modifications, because I have giant amounts of these. But I'll make some different videos on modifications about Doom. It will be. Another very interesting fact is that Doom can be running on anything. You can really play Doom on any real thing. You really can. At least for some examples, so that you really understand it. Watch. Portable plate edge beveling machine. A MacBook touch bar. A printer. A goddamn calculator. You can run Doom on a real calculator. For real. On a single key. And now I see that it has a modification. This is a mode called Guncaster in here. Damn. Public access tablets. Even the old Sony phone. A camera. An old iPod, a goddamn ATM. Well, there's also a modification that allows you to play Doom inside of Doom. That's a classic thing. And now, remember one of the greatest, like really greatest and most interesting quotes about this element of Doom. The first one is a question. Can it run Doom? The second one is, well, if it has a screen, it can run Doom. And the third one, of course, is you can run Doom on anything. And believe me, absolutely any goddamn thing. One day, Xbox magazine made quite an interesting article. It was the 100 most important people in games. Number 61, John Carmack. For some reason they only speak of some few games. Which are these few games we don't know at all? They speak about Rage. Why? Why? I don't understand, okay. But this is the person who made different, very interesting game engines. He created Quake. He created Doom. He decided how the whole game genre will be in the future. He decided how actually FPS will progress. He's the one person who made this giant brick and helped other people make a house out of those and other bricks. He showed how to do it, and he made it very well. A great person, a genius of programming, I mean. A real genius who created a lot of things, created 2 and 5D, a very interesting map editor, and he is number 61. I would say John Carmack at least deserves at least number 5 from those hundreds. From this 100, I mean. And on number 40, we have Anita Sarkeesian. Xbox, I have a question. What the fuck was the shit you were thinking about? What the hell is that fucking shit? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is that fucking shit? What the hell you were thinking about? You, oh my, you actually made him more important than John Carmack, a real game genius. Oh my god, oh my, I fucking hate you. Oh god damn. It's like a kick in the balls. It's like a kick in the balls. It's not that. It's like a whole hit with a sledgehammer on the balls. Oh my. Oh damn, it's like real mind torture. Oh, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I will just give you a pack of facts in the end. Okay. The first one I would like to tell you is that Doom is actually considered one of the most Christian games ever. Some Christians say it is the most Christian game, some say it's not, some Christians hate it. Of course, it's a simple thing. The thing is all about killing demons, hell, anti-Christian moments that are being shown as a bad thing in the game, but I even remember that there was a hoax or a myth that the Catholic Church actually agreed that Doom is the most Christian game ever and accepted it. I remember that was a hoax or something like that, but I couldn't find any information on it. But I remember that this was a real thing, like not the thing with the Catholic Church, but there was some information about it. Like really, if you have something about it, just write it in the comments, something like that. Just tell me about it. And so, in the end, I would like to thank all of you for watching this video. It is really pleasant for me. I wanted to make this video for quite a lot of time. If I am even allowed to rate Doom, I would like to rate it 9 out of 10. In the sense of a game, I rate it 9 out of 10. It's always interesting to play, and if we talk about the game Revolution, it's 10 out of 10. Without any jokes, it's 10 out of 10, it's legendary game, and I want you to know that it's not always the same thing. It's always something even more and more interesting, because Doom is not just the thing that is being a game. It's not just a game, it's a revolution, it's technology, it's story. This is something everyone should know about. Thanks for watching. It was really pleasant to make this video for you, and have a good time playing this great game.
And so right after a year I have decided to update the video, and this is it, this is right where you see. So the reason behind that is that the previous version was cut in a lot of places because of the content ID that I got from the YouTube. Thank you a lot, YouTube, I really appreciate it. It's one of the reasons to actually stop making content. Very great idea. So I'm going to make more reviews now, especially full reviews, and especially to make more music as I only have time now. The reason behind all of the reasons to stop was studying, and so it's only that. I'm going to make only more content now, and well, I'm going to try making it more accurately and try making it better, because I have more time now, and so this is it. Thank you for watching, it's really good, and I'm honestly really thankful to you for all that you have made, for all the reasons, and for actually watching this video. Thank you a lot.